Hello staff, I am here today to present to you on the McKinney-Vento Homeless Assistance Act. If you didn't know, I do serve as the district homeless liaison. So if you have any questions regarding a student that may be homeless, on the verge of becoming homeless, if you have one that you may think needs to be identified that hasn't, please ask me and we can try and help you out with those questions. So what is the McKinney-Vento Act? This is a United States federal law that ensures homeless students have the same access to free and public education as non-homeless students. And this includes access to and removing barriers to those things listed. So preschool, enrolling in school immediately. So that means removing barriers in paperwork, immunizations, any fees that need to be paid so that students are able to start school right away. Students have access to the same activities as non-homeless students, so participating in sports, allowing them to be in music, helping them with any financial needs or equipment so that they are able to participate. Providing transportation from their home of origin to their school of origin, so a lot of time homeless students may move around a lot, so keeping them consistently in the same school as best as we can so that their education is not interrupted. Attendance can be an issue, so definitely that transportation is important. And then just ensuring the educational success of all students through those basic needs in their life. So oftentimes the stereotype of a homeless person is the guy that we see on the left, the one that is on the streets, they have their belongings with them, but oftentimes actually it's like the girl on the right. So sitting in a classroom, she looks no different than any other student, and we have no way of identifying her without those pieces of information. So really keeping your ears and eyes open to what students are saying, to little hints that may think that they're homeless, because those really help us identify them in the school. So some definitions of what homeless children and youth mean. There are a few things I have to look at to determine if a student and their family may be homeless. This first one are those who lack a fixed, regular, and adequate nighttime residence. And they must lack at least one. They don't have to lack all three of these. So in my homeless liaison kit that I'm given with all of my information, they don't give an exact definition of these that they have come up with. They give a few examples, but really they just use the dictionary definition of what they mean. So fixed meaning not subject to change or fluctuation. I ask myself some basic questions. Can they be kicked out of their housing at any time? Are they on a lease? Okay. Are they with a legal guardian, someone who will stay with them? Okay. The next one, regular. Is it consistent? Are they staying at the same place every night, or are they couch hopping from place to place or building to building? The last one, is it adequate? Is this equal to what is lawfully required? Are the utilities on? Is there heat? Is there running water? Is it clean? What type of building or place, home are they living in? The second thing we look at is what is their living situation actually like? And there are lots of different situations that are considered homeless. And the first one is one I see a lot, and this is sharing the housing of others due to loss of housing or economic hardship, and this is called doubled up. So maybe mom or dad or their guardian loses their job and they have to go live with an aunt and uncle. Or maybe they were foreclosed on their house or evicted and they need to go live with a relative. So being doubled up. The next one, living in motels, hotels, or trailer parks or other places due to lack of adequate accommodations. So we have a lot of students that live in trailer parks. This is one that we have to look at their adequate accommodations. So in their trailer, is there utilities on? Are there sufficient rooms? Is it clean? Do they have a place to sleep, or are they on the floor? Is it simply a shelter or an actual home? Sometimes families go to emergency or transitional shelters. If a child is abandoned or a baby is left in a hospital, they're considered homeless. If we know of a student that is awaiting foster care placement, they are a ward of the county and do not have legal guardianship yet appointed, they are considered eligible under the McKinney-Vento Act. The last two kind of go hand in hand, but if there's primary nighttime residence is not normally designed for sleeping. So living in a car, a park, a building, a train station, etc., that we would not normally sleep in. These students are considered homeless. So we look at those two things. Is it fixed? Is it regular? Is it adequate? And then are these one of the situations that a student may be in? And they may be in more than one. I have definitely seen that. The next type of student we look for are unaccompanied youth. And these are youth that are not in the physical custody of their parent or legal guardian. When we talk about youth, there is no minimum age limit. The maximum age limit is school age for the McKinney-Vento. It goes to age 21, but minimum it goes to birth. So any child in a family may be covered under the McKinney-Vento Act. Students may be unaccompanied, but not homeless. So when we're looking for unaccompanied homeless youth, we have to look at three criteria. Not only is it fixed, regular, and adequate, and what type is their homeless situation, or what type is their living situation, but also are they unaccompanied. And so I use this flow chart a lot to help me decide, yes, the student is homeless or not. So if we start in the middle here with this purple box, we decide, is this student with someone who is not a parent or legal guardian? Yes, we decide they are. So why is the student with this person? On the left side here are some homeless reasons. So we can think to ourselves, why is it they're with this other person, and see if they fall into one of these categories. On the right, if it falls into one of these categories, these are considered not homeless, and they should not be qualified. Sometimes we do need more information. Oftentimes I need to talk to a student, a parent, a student again, come up with some more questions, and get some more information. Each of these situations are all case by case, and every individual circumstance is unique. And so if I cannot decide on my own, like, yes, this is what I think, I will call the state homeless liaison down at MDE to just kind of throw the idea past him and see how he can help me identify this student or not. There are a couple ways that we identify students in the building. The first one is our new students that enroll. They fill out this Families in Transition intake form, and I added this to the enrollment packet last year to help me identify students. So every new student coming in, their parents should fill this out, and they pretty much answer the questions we just went through. Is your family in any of the following situations? Essentially asking, what's your living situation like? Is this a student that's not in the custody of a parent? And then looking to see if they are a migrant worker. And if none of these apply, they don't need to fill out any more. If it does apply, we want the names and ages of all children that are in the family. And then down here at the bottom, it talks about some of those rights we had at the beginning to free public education, and those things that includes. So access to enrolling, transportation, participating in school activities, etc. The second way I identify students is really through the staff and the people in the school that hear things, whether a student brought up changes at home, just knowing people in the community, that really, really helps. So if you do hear of someone that their living situation is changing or may not be consistent or adequate, please talk to me and we can help figure out their situation. So we want to identify these students because they are eligible under this McKinney-Vento Act to access to this free and public education, same with all of our other students. And they also have access to Title I funds to help them with this. So students that qualify are automatically eligible for Title I Part A services if they're not in a Title I school. So students would be able to automatically enroll in Title I services without meeting those eligibility requirements to assist them in their education. If needed, and we've looked at other resources to find basic needs, Title I funds can be used for those things. This list is not exhaustive. It is just some things that may come up at school. Clothing and shoes requirements, student fees to participate. So, for example, a Chromebook fee, immunizations, school supplies, food. Students are automatically qualify for free and reduced school lunch if they are considered homeless, and that's a big one. Is when we see that a student's lunch bill is not being paid for a while, it might raise a red flag of, is the student actually homeless or having some troubles that we could get them qualified under elsewhere. And then at the bottom, fees for ACT and SAT testing. We have used funds to help students out with that. So really just looking at where are the needs and how can we help them out. This last slide are just some resources that I've used to help guide my knowledge of this position as the district liaison. The first one is the MDE website. This is a very short, brief overview of what we talked about. And then it also has the state liaison's contact information. The second one is my toolkit, the large packet that I use to help identify students, and it has a lot more in-depth information if you have any questions. Both of these are great resources, and you can also come ask me, and I can try and help you out. Thank you very much.